Good morning, everybody. I'm Brooke, and this channel is Babbling Brooke. I just woke up, went to take my medications. I've shared on this channel in a couple videos that I'm disabled. I'm going to turn the camera to show some of my medications. It's time to refill my dispenser. It makes it easier for me than digging through all of my medications every morning and night trying to find the right ones, and that gets a bit depressing, to be honest. So I like to put my medicines away for the week, and then once a week I refill them, and it just so happens to be that time of the week. So let me just show you, and there they are. And yes, I take those every single day. I do have a drawer with more medications, but this is what I take daily. And occasionally I might have to take a migraine medication or whatever, but that's not in my daily tray. Oh, I thought I was missing one. Okay, I actually have some of my medications here I can go ahead and take for the morning before I get started filling these up, and then we'll talk about disability. These are all prescribed. I follow my doctor's orders. I never ever stray from what the doctor says. If the doctor says I could take less or more according to how I feel, that is different. And the only one that is not a prescription is Tylenol. I do take one of these in the morning and one at night. However, the doctor told me that I can take two in the morning and two at night. We'll see how that goes, if I would like to do that or not. So I'm going to go ahead without showing you the names of any of these. I'm going to just kind of show you what I'm doing. Let me point you downward a little bit. You could still see me. So what I want to do first, let me get these kind of out of the way, is just show you this. I like this pill container. It's got a morning and night, and it's a travel one, so it's got the days on it, and you could take them out, and you know, it closes up for travel. But what I like to do is keep my empties of the last month when I've ran out of these, so that when I travel, I could take, you know, just a couple extra with me, and then it also has my script on it so that I'm traveling with proof that these are my medications. And or you could have your pharmacist, it comes, the bag, when they give you the bag, it'll have the scripts on there. You could cut those out and bring those with you. Cut the bag into like pieces of paper and travel with those if you don't want to travel with an extra thing like this. I personally like to travel with a couple extra in case I get stuck and have to stay a couple extra days. And also, let's say I want to go around town for the day, then I've got, you know, well, I guess you can just bring these, but you know, then what? Then if you get pulled over or stopped, then you don't have your script with you. So yeah, best to bring these with you in a bag, or bring, easier than that is the paper from your doctor. So I would open all of these up first of all. I have been disabled for a long time. I have bone disease, and my disorder does not appear evident for a lot of people, except when it comes to me going to stand up or sit down. When I bring a cushion that is similar to a donut cushion, but the hole is in the back so that my tailbone can kind of float over that hole, because I have bone marrow edema, which is fluid in my bone marrow in my tailbone that causes debilitating pain. And that typically happens for people who have had an injury or a fall, and then with time it heals. However, mine is not from that, and it is not healing. They will be removing my tailbone, and I just have a plethora, a slew of other bone issues. My neck is so messed up that it used to compromise my walking. I had neuropathy and I had intermittent paralysis. It would come and go, stronger and less on different muscles. So I would have to kind of throw my legs with the muscles that were working. And I walked like, this is what the doctor said, somebody that had MS, and I was misdiagnosed with MS. And because my dad was misdiagnosed with MS, I asked them to prove it. He was a bit offended by that I would question his diagnosis. He sent me over to the ER across the street, did an MRI and a lumbar puncture, and I did not have MS. So I would have started a journey on MS medication and not got the real answer. It did take me many years to get the real answer. It took me over 10 years of applying for disability to get disability. Even though I had paralysis, I was told if you can walk, you can work. That was my response to them saying denied. It literally said if you can walk, you can work, while my doctors were saying I couldn't walk. So that was fun. Okay, then I just take a certain one and go one at a time. I'm sharing this with you guys because part of my channel is, even though you might have a disability, you still want to feel able in some ways. You want to focus on, or I want to focus on, I don't want to sound like I'm telling other people what to do. I like to focus on what I'm still able to do, where I could be happy around the pain, and how I can still move my body. Some days I'm stuck in bed, and if all I could do is stretch a little, that's fine. If all I could do is rest that day, I consider that what I did for my body that day. I rested so that my body can feel better tomorrow, so my body can have less pain than if I got up and tried to do 100 things. My body would be hurting more. So what I did for that day was nothing, and that's something. So I want to help people with disabilities to know that you don't have to give up on trying to feel better. Skincare. I'm going to be trying to take belly dancing because I used to love dancing and being very active, but I can't go out there tap dancing. I can't do like stairs. I can't do hopping, jumping, things like that, twirling all around. But I could probably, do some of this, or at least try, and feel connected to my body, and maybe feel, um, not to be sexual. I don't mean it in this way, but sexy. I feel in tune with my body. I am looking forward to taking that class. And if it isn't for me, it isn't for me. If I can't do it, I can't do it. But I can try and see if I could do it. What I will want to do is, if it seems like the class is too hard on me, I'm going to stop. I could change the movements and make them to where they fit my body. Otherwise, I will leave. I've gone to exercise classes that I thought were going to be gentle, and they weren't. And I was embarrassed to leave in the middle of the class. And then I was down for a month of agony because I was too embarrassed to politely walk out. I didn't want to hurt the instructor's feelings or interrupt the other participants' class, so I walked out. I mean, I didn't walk out. I didn't do what I should have done and just walk out. Okay, big old Tylenol. Did I open this one? I don't think I have. I'll get to that later. It's not important for right now. I have since been approved for disability. I consider my full-time job trying to get well. I am trying YouTube right now. Right now it's just to have a little creativity and to feel like I have more reach of more people because I spend a lot of time in bed. I don't get out much. I do a Zoom meeting almost every day, and I've made some friends in that Zoom meeting. I feel like I've made friends with the people at my local Starbucks. They're very friendly to me. My drink is a little complicated, and they tell me, even if your drink was the most complicated in the world, I would still gladly do your drink. You're our favorite. And it just makes me feel so good. It's like a brief 2-minute encounter that makes my day because I don't interact with people too much. So my daughter's like, whenever she goes with me to a store, which she doesn't do often, and we typically have things delivered because I can't carry the groceries, and she gets embarrassed because I'll talk to the clerk as if we're best friends, but that's because I don't get that human engagement face to face. And they'll ask me, how are you doing, and I'm like, give them the list of how I'm doing, and my daughter's like, oh my gosh, mortified, like, Mom, they just want to hear I'm fine, how are you, and I'm like, hey, they asked. um and they really don't mind. And then when I come back to the store, we build on that. It's I feel like I have a great relationship with the people in the stores around where I live, and I like that personally. I need that, actually. And it is very important to be kind to the people that live around you because you are going to run into them. What am I going to drive to, like, different stores every time I've been rude to somebody who has helped me and I haven't had a good attitude? No, that won't work. So I like that when I come in, they're like, hey, where you been? Makes me feel good. Makes me feel like I've been good to them and that they're happy to see me. Okay, so I will have to open the Tylenol, and I will have to open one more of them. I won't tell you guys the names. I feel that's inappropriate. But as you can hear and as you could see, I do take a lot of medications. This is what I will show you. Yeah, that many medications. I know there are people that take more, and I was taking more. I've got it pretty dialed down. I use other things, like I use a red light belt. Helps with my inflammation. I take turmeric tea. I rest. I get a lot of rest. I'm 90 to 95% bedridden. And just sitting up like this, I will have to recover from. I'll have to lay back down on that red light before I could get up again and, let's say, take a shower. And then after my shower, I have to lay back down again, get up to make something, have to lay back down again. Sometimes I need help to make something. My daughter will help me, and or I have to wait hours before I could get up and go make something to eat. And a lot of people get confused when they see me, especially if I have my makeup on, and I'm friendly, and they see me walking, because my walking has improved a lot. They assume I'm not disabled. I have had, oops, sorry. I have asked tellers if they could help me with the water, and they flat out refused. Like people at Sprouts, I walked in there like on my way home from trying to walk at the gym, just a slow walk on the treadmill. But anyways, I stopped at a store, and I asked, is there anybody that could help me get some water? And they told me no. And then I say, well, I'm disabled, and they're like, oh, whoa, 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 and it's unfortunate that I have to say that. I wouldn't ask for help if I didn't need it. And I had to fire a therapist because even though I had been with her for a year and had been telling her I was disabled and all that entailed with that, and the great pain and all the surgeries and procedures I have, and the medications, and everything that went along with being disabled. She told me, you could do normal day-to-day things. And how would she know that? We're having um, telemed appointments because I can't drive to her office and sit there for an hour and then drive back. She sees me laying on a bed, and she assumes that I'm able-bodied, and she tells me, use your brain, get up and go get a desk job. I can hardly sit for a half hour with a cushion, and then I have to recover from it by laying down. I don't know a job where they're going to let me lay down for an hour after sitting for a half hour. And I mean, I really could not even sit longer than 2 hours a day with the cushion, with breaks. And then I would need a couple days to recover from that if I did that much sitting in a day. I was very turned off by how she was talking to me, undermining my disability, all the pain that I've been through, and I fired her the next day. You have to stand up for yourself sometimes, but you also have to understand that people don't know what some disabilities look like. They might see a child who looks happy, and they might appear like they look well. They could have leukemia. Maybe their hair hasn't fallen out yet. Maybe they haven't reached the stage where they're tired from their medication and treatments. You just don't know what somebody's going through. And me, like when I put my makeup on, I appear somewhat attractive. I don't mean that in an egotistical way. I think, we're all beautiful in our own way, so I appear attractive in my own way. And, people will look at me and it's like, you don't look disabled. Well, what does disabled look like? Do you see me? Like when I go to stand up, it's like, it's a lot of effort, and you could see the grimace on my face. Do you think I bring my cushion around, my donut cushion, to a fancy restaurant because I want to ruin my outfit and the experience? Like, okay, just because I'm not in a wheelchair doesn't mean that I am not disabled. I very much so needed a wheelchair before, needed a walker, needed help getting to and from. My daughter would be my walker sometimes. She would, hold on to my arm and this is not to make fun of anyone but myself, or not even make fun of myself, but just a little demonstration. I would put this arm out to kind of balance myself, and she would, and this arm, and she would hold on to this arm, and her other arm would be behind my back, and I would like struggle to try to walk, and people would tell me, for God's sakes, get a wheelchair. But sitting in the wheelchair was more painful than me trying to walk. So, and also I didn't want to give up on trying to walk. I was determined to at least get the muscles that could work, that still had some brain signal, to keep that brain signal up. I didn't want complete atrophy in my legs. So I was just trying to keep things going, and luckily chiropractic care put a little more space in between my neck, which has a reverse curve, and that spinal cord. It opened things up enough to where I developed, a little more sensation between the brain and the muscles, and now I could walk much, much better. I did have a hip procedure because of my bone issue, and I still need another one for a torn bursa in the same hip, and shots and physical therapy and yada yada. But that crippled me for 7 months. I could not walk after that procedure, just to try to calm down one of the bones. I do think it is working now after 7 months, but for about 7 months I was wondering what did I do and why did I do it. Yeah, it was a very scary thing. And I've had many procedures where after I had the procedure, I wondered, why did I do this? What did I do? I've made myself more crippled. And then eventually it either returned to about the state I was at before and did nothing for me but put me back for about a year, or I was down for 7 months and now that bone feels more calmer in the winter, calmer if I accidentally bump it, if I accidentally roll over on my sleep on that bone. I won't be limping for 2 to 4 weeks just because I rolled over on it accidentally for a minute. So that one was worth it. And when all you can do is try, when your full-time job is to try to get well and increase mobility and live a happy life, you almost try anything with educated research and trusting your doctors. Yeah, not just anything. You don't try anything, but within reason, you will try anything to get well if uh, you've done your research and your doctors have done their research and you've done your research on your doctors. So thank you for watching this little part about me. Yes, I'm on a skincare journey. I'm on a journey to improve my health as well. But I wanted to connect the dots with my disability, who I am, and that just because you're disabled, just because you're hurting, doesn't mean that there aren't things that you can't still do. And like I said, even if all you do is get through the day and you do nothing, you did everything you can do for that day. Um, Take my words for that. I mean that wholeheartedly. If that's all you can do, if that's truly all you can do, you're doing everything you can do. And that's to be praised, and that's amazing. So keep that up. Please do not give up the fight. And I'm in your corner. Babylon Brooks signing out. Have a great day.